I feel sorry for all the parents who had to sit through this movie. My thoughts and prayers go to you. Let's get to the review. How are we doing, everybody? This is Let's Be Real with Brad. Today we'll be talking about We Could Be Heroes, which is a standalone sequel to the 2005 film The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl in 3D. It is directed by Robert Rodriguez, who also directed the previous film. We Could Be Heroes was released on Netflix on Christmas Day, which took me a while to go review because there had been so many new releases. I finally checked this movie out a few days ago, which is a terrible movie. I will get from this review that the common complaint is that, Brad, this is a kids movie. It is made solely for kids. You aren't supposed to like it. But that statement is simply not true. I feel like I have to repeat myself with this statement every time I review a terrible kids movie. I think it might be impossible for adults to enjoy simply because of how idiotic and garbage the writing is. The humor is, I consider, the worst of the year with the most apparent and garbage puns. All the jokes aren't creative or well written, making me roll my eyes almost every time. There is a significant twist that happens toward the end of the film that I thought was so terrible that it made the movie as a whole a big waste of time. This whole movie should have been a 45-minute to an hour episode of a TV series that I think would work so much better. This is because the film is overloaded with so many characters, with none of them having their own arcs and being developed as characters we could be emotionally attached to. If they cut half the kids out of the film, it would have been a much better film. Also, if you are like me and you want to watch this film for nostalgic reasons for having Shark Boy and Lava Girl in this movie, well, think again, because they are in the movie for almost a total of 2 to 3 minutes and they do nothing whatsoever. So don't go watch this movie for that reason, because you will be heavily disappointed. Another negative this film has is the acting. The acting at times is so unbearable, in which these kids do a poor job in this movie. I don't want to dive into this movie because they are kids and shouldn't be criticized too much, but this is a significant criticism that needed to be addressed. The visual effects also look terrible with this Spy Kids look that Rodriguez has been known for in his kids' films, but I just don't see what creative choice this serves for. It is all distractingly bad, where it looks like they're on a green screen a good chunk of the film. Combine that with terrible acting, I don't feel engagement in this movie because of that. The action sequences also look poorly handled, as it feels so limited into what they can actually do. Since the concept is that these kids with superpowers have to save their superhero parents, it is up to them to defeat the villains and save the day. There is so much CGI used to make the kids look all powerful, and being able to beat up 200-pound adults looks beyond fake. If the kids were a little bit older, I think the movie would have worked so much better. The music is also boring, with being so generic and adds nothing to this movie. It is completely forgettable in every way possible, which is a big disappointment. At least the first one had some memorable music.
Just relax, lay about, or my fist will put you out. Dream, 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 dream. Take your time, puppy, well, there's darkness in the air.
This movie has one positive thing. Kids seem to be enjoying this film quite a bit, being on the top 10 charts on Netflix for a couple of weeks. If you could turn your brain off and not pay attention to almost anything that happens in this movie, you will find a way to enjoy it with being very easy to digest. Overall, this is a terrible superhero kids film trying to be an Avengers knockoff in kids form, but ends up having horrendous action, a horrific script, and terrible acting to go along with it. This is a recipe for disaster that should be avoided at all costs. Little kids will enjoy this film, but I think anyone over middle school level will pass on this. I'm giving this movie a 2 out of 10. So, let me know down below in the comment section if you have seen We Could Be Heroes, and if you have, what did you think of the film? Before you check out this video, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you never miss a new fun and exciting video. As always, I will see you all in the next video.